Being a pro isn't enough these days. You have to be at least an Ultra or a Max to leave some impact, and the Mi 11 Ultra does leave some impact. It is Xiaomi's first true flagship smartphone in the country, and the name itself is enough to suggest who it competes with, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Yes, there is a OnePlus 9 Pro and also the Vivo X60 Pro Plus around the same price point, but it's Samsung that has been ruling the Android flagship smartphones for so many years now, largely because of no competition. Now, just like Vivo and OnePlus, Xiaomi has also gone aggressive with the cameras, hoping to make the right kind of noise. The Mi 11 Ultra comes with world's largest camera sensor on a smartphone. And the main camera is accompanied by two other high-resolution cameras. You also get a secondary display at the back, which is kind of cute. And the phone is priced at Rs 69,999 for the only 12GB RAM and 256GB storage variant. We still don't know when this will be available in the country for sale. This is one phone that I have been waiting to check out for a very long time. So let's see if the Mi 11 Ultra is as good as it promises to be or not. You're watching India Today Tech. I am Manas Tiwari, and this is our review of the Mi 11 Ultra. But before we start the video, please subscribe to India Today Tech YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Also hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any updates from our side. Now, let's get started. I recently interviewed Xiaomi India's chief Manu Kumar Jain, who jokingly said that this is a DSLR which can also be used to make calls. Well, the way I look at it, the Mi 11 Ultra is basically a camera module that has a phone attached to its back. The camera bump is genuinely massive, difficult to unsee, and certainly polarizing for a lot of users. It runs through almost the entire width of the phone and houses three lenses, two large ones for normal and wide shots and a periscope for telephoto. There is also an LED flash and a small rear-facing display. You can still understand the width of the camera module because there's a tiny 1.1-inch AMOLED display which leads to this massive sort of camera module. But the module is equally thick as well, which will further isolate few users. The only positive I can derive out of this camera bump is that it stops the phone from wobbling unless pressed at extreme corners. If and when you are able to take eyes off that camera module, you will realize that the rest of the rear panel is made up of ceramic. As Jose Mourinho would say, it's beautiful. The phone comes in black and white color options. I had the white color variant for review, which looks gorgeous. It's also different from the other flagship Android smartphones. Yes, the back panel does catch some fingerprint smudges, but they're not as visible as on some of the glass-backed smartphones. I'm glad that the Indian variant of the Mi 11 Ultra comes with just the Xiaomi logo at the bottom and not the unwanted information that kind of spoiled the China variant. The rear panel is surrounded by a broad aluminum frame which houses the Type-C USB port, the card slot, and the main loudspeaker at the bottom. The volume and power buttons are on the right, while the top houses the other part of the speaker, a secondary mic and the IR emitter. There is also a Harman Kardon branding placed very subtly next to the top speaker. The Mi 11 Ultra is also one of the very few Xiaomi smartphones that come with an IP68 rating. Now that gives you a lot of protection against dust and water. The only problem remains to be the weight of the phone. It weighs a whopping 234 grams. Forget one hand, not even two are going to be enough to handle this phone. And the only defense that I have is that even the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra weighs 228 grams. So the difference is actually not that much. The reason why the Mi 11 Ultra is special is because of its camera. And it's not just the size. Xiaomi has used Samsung's latest high-end sensor, the GN2, on Mi 11 Ultra's main camera. And that's ironical. This is a 1.12-inch sensor which helps Mi 11 Ultra dethrone the Nokia 808 PureView for biggest sensor on a smartphone. Surprisingly, it has taken years for a phone to do that. The main camera is supported by a 48-megapixel ultra-wide angle camera and a 48-megapixel telephoto camera. The telephoto can handle 5x optical zoom, 10x hybrid zoom and up to 120x digital zoom. It's the maximum we have seen on any smartphone till date. The main camera mostly lives up to the expectations. You can see in the image samples that the subjects are sharp, clear, and there's a plenty of details in the background. The dynamic range is also excellent. You can zoom in towards the building to see that the text on Tata Sky dish is clearly visible, while the balcony can also be clearly seen. Similarly, the pamphlets posted on the guard cabin of the school are very clear, and even the text is partially visible. The problem is with the colors though. The rear camera tends to oversaturate images, and you don't even need to compare it with any other phone. You just place a picture, click by the rear camera and the front camera of the Mi 11 Ultra, and you can see the difference yourself. The yellow t-shirt that I am wearing in the image is almost 2-year-old and slightly faded, yet the rear camera makes it look vibrant. That isn't the case with the selfie shooter. The colors are more true here. The ultra wide camera does a decent job. The colors, sharpness and detailing are all good. There is very less noise in images and exposure is also excellent. If you like to click from a distance, then the Mi 11 Ultra has got you covered. The shots with the 5x and 10x zoom are quite impressive and you don't see much noise here. But beyond that, the details are mostly lost. The 120x digital zoom is more of a gimmick and does not have a real life use. Now remember when I said that the Mi 11 Ultra sort of oversaturates the images? So I tried to compare this phone with the OnePlus 9 Pro. And let me tell you that this is even worse. I was expecting the Hasselblad tuning to deliver better results, but the OnePlus 9 Pro actually makes the Mi 11 Ultra look better. The difference isn't noticeable in close-up shots. You can see that the Captain America figurine is almost identical in both cases, but slightly more saturated on the OnePlus 9 Pro. It does capture better details. However, the skin tones look more natural on the Mi 11 Ultra, while the OnePlus 9 Pro makes me look more pink than brown. The same goes for the t-shirt, which looks better on the Mi 11 Ultra. Now Xiaomi talked a lot about the bokeh effect on the Mi 11 Ultra, and it does impress. You can clearly see that the portrait shots on the Mi 11 Ultra look better than the OnePlus 9 Pro. At night, OnePlus 9 Pro clicks a lot better and sharper images. Even the background of the images look more vibrant on the OnePlus 9 Pro. The Mi 11 Ultra makes the entire frame look a bit darker. Clearly, OnePlus has done a better job with the night mode. The Mi 11 Ultra can capture 8K videos at up to 30 frames per second and 4K videos at 60 frames per second. In terms of details and quality of video, there is not much to choose from between the two phones, but the stabilization seems better on the Mi 11 Ultra. Now coming to the front, the phone comes with a 20 megapixel camera for selfies. The color accuracy is a lot better on the front camera of the Mi 11 Ultra. The skin tones are preserved and the results are really impressive in daylight. In low light, some selfies on the OnePlus 9 Pro are brighter, but again the colors look better on the Mi 11 Ultra. The sharpness is also better on the latter. The Mi 11 Ultra comes with a 6.81-inch AMOLED display, and it has to be one of the best displays on an Android smartphone right now. It's big, fast, smooth and gorgeous. You name the feature and Xiaomi has added it to Mi 11 Ultra's display. It has high resolution, high refresh rate, high peak brightness, HDR support, good color accuracy and very little to complain about. In terms of numbers, the Mi 11 Ultra features a QHD plus resolution in a 20:9 aspect ratio, which puts it at par with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9 Pro. So you can stream content in the highest quality possible. The visuals look stunning on the Mi 11 Ultra and the colors are great too. The phone is also capable of boosting standard definition content to high definition and high definition content to QHD+. This means even your old videos can be watched in improved quality. The display is very smooth as well. You can choose between 60Hz and 120Hz refresh rates. When on latter, the phone is capable of dynamically switching between 30, 60, 90 and 120Hz depending on what's being displayed. The Mi 11 Ultra also features 480Hz touch sampling rate for fast registering of touch input. The display supports HDR10+. That's something that you get on a lot of other smartphones as well. But it also supports Dolby Vision now. That is something you don't get on smartphones. In fact, my smart TV also does not have Dolby Vision support. There is a lot of Dolby Vision content coming these days, especially on Hotstar, and the feature makes the Mi 11 Ultra a very good streaming option. The phone is capable of hitting 900 nits brightness with a crazy peak brightness of 1700 nits. Honestly, it sounds great in numbers, but I found the brightness just enough to use the phone outdoors and nothing extraordinary. Now, let's talk about this secondary display. Now, this is just 1.1 inch AMOLED display, which might look tiny, but let me tell you, this is the screen size that you get on most fitness bands as well. So why complain? The rear display has 450 nits brightness, can show notifications, date, battery status, but more importantly, doubles up as the viewfinder for the rear camera, allowing you to use it for selfies. The rear display has 450 nits brightness, can show notifications, date, battery status, but more importantly, doubles up as the viewfinder for the rear camera, allowing you to use it for selfies. Also, you can put a wallpaper on it, which is kind of cool. Now, a flagship smartphone has to come with a flagship processor. So Xiaomi has used Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 888 processor on the Mi 11 Ultra, which is the same processor used on the OnePlus 9 Pro as well. And we know that it's a lot better than the Exynos chipsets that Samsung uses on its smartphones. The Mi 11 Ultra comes with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. The latter should be enough for most people. The limitation here is that this phone does not support a micro SD card. So if there's one thing you really need to pick, it's the lack of expandable storage. Apart from that, the performance is very satisfactory. The Mi 11 Ultra handles your daily tasks with ease, is good for gaming, and doesn't have any heating issues as well. The only time the phone got slightly warm was after using the camera for a long period. The phone features stereo speakers, which are becoming very common on Xiaomi smartphones these days, but the ones on the Mi 11 Ultra have been tuned by Harman Kardon to make you feel special. But let me tell you that they come nowhere close to Apple iPhones in terms of performance. Still, they're loud, clear, and are good enough for streaming content if you're staying home. And by the way, you should till this COVID-19 situation gets better. On the software front, the Mi 11 Ultra runs global version of MIUI 12.0.2 on top of Android 11. It would have been nicer if Xiaomi had introduced the MIUI 12.5 with this flagship, but this is what we have right now. The Mi 11 Ultra supports always-on display, has only few pre-installed apps, and a lot of customizations to personalize the experience. The Mi 11 Ultra packs a 5000 mAh battery, which puts it at par with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and helps beat the OnePlus 9 Pro. Honestly, it had to. The kind of hardware Xiaomi has used on the Mi 11 Ultra, it can drain the battery very fast. The bigger pack keeps the phone alive a little bit longer, but even with medium usage, you might end up charging the phone before the end of day. The battery was down by about 12% after 1 hour of streaming content and by about 20% after an hour of gaming. In both cases, I was using the phone at highest resolution and high refresh rate. Now in China, Xiaomi had launched the Mi 11 Ultra with a 67 watt fast charger. The support is also on the Indian variant, but it is shipping with the phone with a 55 watt fast charger, citing certification issues. It will be interesting to see when and if Xiaomi actually brings a 67 watt fast charger to the country, but for now, even a 55 watt charger isn't that bad. The Mi 11 Ultra is a big step and thankfully in the right direction. The camera, the design, and even the secondary display help the phone stand out from other Android flagship smartphones. But the question that you need to ask is, how many of these features are actually useful? And that's where you have second doubts about the price tag of Rs 70,000. Having said that, I must admit that Xiaomi deserves a lot of credit for trying something different and coming up with a phone that can give anyone a run for their money. Now, it might just well be the beginning, but it should make Samsung nervous, really nervous. Now, it's not the only smartphone maker out there making these premium flagship smartphones. Xiaomi is there, OnePlus is there, and even Vivo hasn't done a bad job at all. In conclusion, I must say that if photography is your thing, then you should definitely consider Mi 11 Ultra. You'll also get one of the best displays on an Android smartphones, loudspeakers and decent battery life. But if you are in the market for a compact smartphone, then you should definitely check out others, including the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, 3 things that we absolutely liked about the Mi 11 Ultra. The first has to be the camera performance, which is excellent. Second has to be the display. As I said repeatedly, it's one of the best displays on any Android smartphone. And the third has to be the speakers. Speakers are quite impressive. what we didn't like about this phone, the first has to be the weight of the phone. It's very heavy. Second has to be the size. It's not a compact smartphone by any distance, and you're gonna have a tough time using the phone with, one hand is not even in question. So, and the third thing which we absolutely didn't like about this phone is the battery life. The battery life could have been better. The phone drains really fast. So these are the three things that Xiaomi could have made slightly better. Now, how did you like this review of the Mi 11 Ultra? Do let us know in the comments section. If you want to see this phone be compared to any other smartphone, we've already done a bit of a camera comparison with the OnePlus 9 Pro, but if you want me to compare this phone to any other smartphone, please let us know in the comment section as well, and keep watching India Today Tech for more such content. Thank you.